So earlier on, we were talking about why on earth was he not in a Category A prison? Could you just explain to us the difference between Category A? I saw you nodding along when we said there is no way he would have escaped from a Category A, and yet he did escape from a Category B. What's the difference?
Well, you've got to be a little bit careful with that because people have escaped from Cat A prisons. In the 1990s, there was some escapes by IRA prisoners from Whitemoor Prison, and then again at Parkhurst on the Isle of Wight, which led to massive reports. The Learmont report came out after that, and security was massively tightened up in the Category A estate and around the prison system as well. The main difference is Category A prisons are for the very highest category of prisoners that would be an absolute danger to the public if they were to escape. And then you've got the Cat Bs, which is just as dangerous, actually, but not under the extreme conditions that Category A prisons would be. And then you've got Category C for the less categories. And then, of course, you get your open estate, Cat Ds.
And what could be the reason why he was kept in Category B then? Is it because of a low risk? He was considered a flight risk, but perhaps not as dangerous according to the allegations, or is it because he was kept away perhaps from an accomplice? What could those have been? Maybe his age?
Could be a whole variety of issues, but at this moment in time, I'm struggling with that as well.
Yeah.
And there's no use me saying, well, he should have been in a Cat A prison. There may have been a variety of reasons why he wasn't. Now, we have raised with the prison service over the years about categorisation of prisoners. And I suspect sometimes it comes down to space because of overcrowding and different things. Now, if you remember back a few years ago, there was a spate of dangerous prisoners absconding from open conditions. And the warnings went out from the police not to approach them. Bewildering, given that they're in an open estate with no fence around. Why were they recategorised so quickly? So there could be a potential problem there, but I'm sure this investigation will look into all that because, quite rightly, not just the Shadow Secretary of State is asking that particular question, but I know that Alex Chalk is asking that particular question as well. And they'll have to have the answers in relation to that. And I await those answers as well, so that we can say, that it's inappropriate or not. But I think we'll all become a little bit wiser when the investigation is complete. I tell you what, when Alex Chalk said today that he wants a preliminary report within a week, that'll be the quickest investigation I've ever seen in the prison service.
So earlier on, actually, I bumped into Peter Blexley, former Metropolitan Police officer, who was saying that actually, in terms of this, there's a lot of speculation about this, about straps being underneath the van, whether it was premeditated, whether this was an inside job or whether it was an outside job. He said something quite interesting to me. He said the Justice Secretary seemed very confident that he would be caught. He repeated it multiple times. Do you think the Justice Secretary knows something? I mean, it's pure speculation. Do you think the Justice Secretary knows something that maybe the rest of us don't?
I hope he does, and I hope this individual is caught very, very quickly. If he poses a threat to the security of Great Britain and the general public at large, then we need him caught as quickly as possible. Would Alex Chalk make those remarks if he wasn't confident? No, Alex Chalk, I don't think he would make those remarks. So maybe he is briefed at top level by police and counter-terrorism officers that I'm unaware of.
And just to give a little bit of an update here, Police Commander Dominic Murphy has come out to say that allegedly Khalif is believed to have been strapped to the bottom of this vehicle, as we already know, left HMP Wandsworth at 7:32 a.m. He was then declared missing at 7:50 a.m. Police were then notified at 8:15, and the van was actually stopped on Upper Richmond Drive at 8:37 a.m. Yet we in the media weren't alerted to this till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So there's such a vast time difference there between the police being notified that there was a runaway prisoner and then the press being informed so people could actually look out for him. Is that standard procedure?
I'm not sure why there was that time delay without looking at all the different components in relation to it. I understood at Wandsworth yesterday there was obviously a complete lockdown, which is normal if they think that a prisoner isn't accounted for, and that can take some time to then count the roll, because you heard earlier that he could be hiding somewhere in the establishment. And I know you find that difficult to understand, but there's a thing now called free flow in prisons where they go to work, and you may send 50 prisoners to a workshop. You may send 15 or 20 prisoners.
But wouldn't you know where they are in the prison?
Well, you should know where they are. I mean, that's basic security. But the point I'm making, and I've made on many media interviews, is that security seems to have taken a back seat to the way that I know it. Now, we've raised this with Alec Chalk, that we need to get back to a disciplined service.
100%.
Because that's what the general public expect. And I understand there'll be pressure groups that will say, we can't be harsh on this issue, we can't be harsh on that. But, you know, my members at different establishments, horrendous assaults, and I think a member of Parliament mentioned today that they visited Wandsworth Prison a couple of weeks back, and as they were visiting, 6 members of staff, prison officers, were been taken to hospital after being viciously assaulted. That's what we're seeing on a daily basis up and down the country. Thousands of officers every year being assaulted viciously. And that cannot go on.
It can't. Absolutely right. Thank you so much for staying with us. Thank you to Steve Gillan there.